My name is Donna Kumpf.
Nice to meet you. What was your occupation before you retired?
To tell you the honest truth, I haven't really retired. Being in the greenhouse business and being married to a farmer, you don't really retire. You're just... My goal was to be a school teacher, but I never made that.
Did you do anything else for occupations besides greenhouse and owner and
No, as a matter of fact, when I first graduated from high school, I worked in a grocery store in order to earn money to go to college. Instead, I got married, and that's been it.
Have you always lived in Akron?
No, I was born and raised in Clarence. Believe it or not, I live in exactly 5 miles now from where I was born and raised.
Where else? Why did you move to Akron?
Well, when I got married, my husband lived in Amherst, and he had a small piece of land, and he loves farming. We were looking for a larger farm, and so we found this 100-acre farm where we live now, and that's why we moved here. Open land.
Could you please tell me about the Newstead Food Pantry?
Okay, the Newstead Food Pantry is a great organization. I can't exactly remember when it started. Sylvia Merkel and Paula Croplin, you might know Mr. Croplin who works here at the school, and he's a custodian, his wife, and Sylvia Merkel started it with just a few baskets going out at Thanksgiving time, and then they decided that there are more families out there that needed help, and they need a little more help, so they asked if I would like to help. So probably maybe 20 years ago, I got involved in the food pantry, and I'm still involved in the food pantry. And we serve about 70 families a month in the Akron Newstead family by supplementing their food, actually their government support programs with foods for their family. And at Christmas, Easter, and Thanksgiving time, we give them special baskets.
How many years have you served in the food pantry in Newstead?
Probably about 20.
That's a long time. That's a long time. About how many hours did it take a week?
Well, when we first started, the people were allowed to call in and, you know, tell us when they were in need. So we actually were working the pantry 5 days a week, 3 hours a day, and in between, of course, doing the shopping and stuff like that. But now we have the pantry set up so that they come in once a month. We have a designated day that they come in, and so we still serve in times of emergency, but basically we have the people come in 1 day a week, pardon me, 1 day a month, that they come in and they can get their groceries. And we feel this way here we're reaching out to more families, and they don't feel so self-conscious coming in by themselves. And it has grown from, say, probably 15 families to 70, 75 families now. So, but it's a great thing.
What did you like about Akron?
Akron has so many, many things to be proud of. Different times, you'll be talking to somebody, they'll say, where are you from? You say, Akron, New York. And they'll say, Akron, Ohio. No, Akron, New York. Home of Perry's Ice Cream, Ford Gum, Whiting Roll-Up Door, and Akron Rule. It's just, it's got a lot to be proud of. I'm proud to say I live in Akron. The school system, the friendliness of the people and everything. I just think Akron's a great place to live.
Talking about family life, how many children do you have, and where are they now?
Okay, we have 4 children. Our one son is still at home. He is our oldest, and he helps with the farming. Our other son wanted to branch out into a larger type of farming, so He lives in Basum, and he has 3 children. Him and his wife have 3 children. And then we have a daughter who lives in Clarence, and they're looking for a home in Akron. And then we have a daughter who lives in Leroy. Her and her husband live in Leroy, and they have 2 children, and she is a teacher, which is the career I had hoped to do.
Mm-hmm. What historical event impacted your life the most?
I think most recently, of course, is your 9/11, but I also have to say the assassination of President Kennedy, because that really, put the world in a real state of turmoil, uncertainty, and just people just didn't know what was going to take place. And now with 9/11, it's still kind of a troubled time to deal with, but we have to keep going and praying that things will work out there too.
Talk about 9/11. What was your reaction when you heard about the attack?
It was kind of a strange way that we even heard. My husband and I had been given a trip for the day. Actually, we don't take too much time and go away, but the kids had given us a luncheon and everything, so we were going out. And people were talking about it, and when we left home that day, the airplane had just hit the tower for the first time. And we didn't realize until we were in this restaurant that there was more to it than that. So by the time we got home, we were really quite, and
Shock.
I think a shock, and I think it's put a lot of hatred towards the Iranians, and really, in my concern, it's the leaders. It's the same with our leaders. It's not the people, but the leaders. So I'm hoping that we can all come through this okay.
Me too. Me too.
Yeah. Yes, you're our next generation, definitely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you have anything else you would like to say about Akron?
Well, not having been in the Akron school system as a student myself, I think one of the best credits that the Akron teaching staff can have is our oldest son has a learning disability. They went out of their way to see that he got an education. Mrs. Reichert, Dolores Reichert, bought books because she knew he liked animals, and she bought books so he could learn to read. He's dyslexic. Everything he sees is backwards. And but they went out of his way. And when he got to be in high school, there was a possibility that he would not graduate because of his learning disabilities. But there again, his guidance counselor, whose name slips my mind, saw to it that he got into vocational classes. So he graduated from Akron without ever going to Harkness or BOCES. And I think that says a lot for this school system. I really do. There's not too many schools that can boast of that. So.
What do you think about Akron today, in your opinion?
I think it's a growing, thriving community. And I think it's going to continue. I can see a lot of building going on just in our street. At one time, there wasn't that many homes, and I can see a lot of homes developing and really growing.
Does the audience have any questions?
Yes, I do, as a matter of fact.
Okay. What's your question?
Donna, I would like to know who supplied the food pantry with the items that you were able to give out to these families?
Well, we are very fortunate. Many organizations and congregations within the community, there again, they have come forth with the food that we need, and if they can't give food, then we also have monetary donations.
So you see this as a volunteer organization?
Definitely a community volunteer organization. And as you look and as you read the paper and stuff like that, you can't help but see where Akron might be a small community, but their hearts are bigger than any place around. They really are. No matter what there is, they always come through.
Well, thanks for coming to the interview. And I really enjoyed talking to you and meeting you and hearing about your past life. And it's been fun.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming
Thank
again.
you. Good luck.
Yep, me too.